Good evening, friends. Welcome back to Otology Ninja program. This is class 41. Today, I'm talking on an unusual subject, that is time management in mid-layer and mastoid surgeries. Okay. Uh, Coming to the moderation, everybody is a moderator today. Okay. You all can share your experience in this matter. It's very important. Time is one of the most important thing we need to manage. Okay, I'm going to deal with that today. Okay, how I do it. Yeah, time management in mid-layer and mastoid surgeries. Okay, let me share some quotes, important quotes about time management. Okay, time is capital and not a renewable income. I hope you agree with me. Time and tide waits for no man. Time is the only thing which cannot be stretched beyond 4 hours. I hope you agree with me. Can you? You cannot. We cannot. Okay. Time is the most valuable gift which can be offered by anyone to another. I hope you agree with me on this. Give time for your children. Be good parents. Have time for your subordinates and students, and be a good superior. Okay. We cannot make time, but surely we can find time. I hope you all agree with me. Imagine what is the time now. Now in my clock it is 8 p.m. 6 minutes on Sunday, 18th October. If once this time passes, will this ever come back in our life? Never. It will never come back in our life. We should always work with realization. Okay. Time passed will never come back. Okay. Time is most precious and time is money. So, what are the advantages of time management in mid-layer and mastoid surgery or any surgery? There is advantages to the patient, advantages to the surgeon, and advantages to the hospital. Let me elaborate on that. What are the advantages to the surgeon? For the surgeon, time is money. If you have more time, you can have more consultation time. You can do more surgeries in less time. You can put more cases in your list, daily list. You can make more time for other academic right activities like giving lectures, preparing presentations, writing papers, writing books, so many things you can do. More time for extracurricular activities like your hobbies. You can have more hobbies. Okay. You can party with your friends, or you can read books, watch movies, whatever you want to do, play games, anything. And most important, you can spend more time with your family. That is most critical. Your family is your support system, so you need to support them back reciprocally. Okay, that's very important. So what are the advantages of the patient? This surgery becomes economical, less discomfort to the patient, particularly if you're operating under local anesthesia, and less chance of operating wound infection. As less time you use, chance of infection comes down. There are many research studies on this. Okay, less anesthesia risk. Okay, less OT risk. See, it has been defined. Operation theater is one of the most hazardous place, so it is less risky to patient. Okay, and less hospital stay. So these are the advantages to the patient. This is one research paper which deals with this, like prolonged operative time correlates with increased infection rate after total knee arthroplasty. But I think this applies to any other surgeries. It's just not any orthopedic surgeries. Okay, I was just searching, correlation between operative time and increased infection following surgeries. Okay, this is a reality. So, what are the advantages to the hospital? Efficient use of 40 time. Okay, hospital. This is one of the issues. Morning time, almost every surgeon wants to operate quickly and push off. So they are always busy, operation theaters are busy. And efficient use of OT staff. We can't have a lot of staff, many staff, the overhead becomes more, burden becomes more. And less hospital borne infection rate. Okay, this is very critical. Okay, this can spoil reputation of the hospital. Okay, less OT risk for the patient, more hazard to the patient, more headache for the hospitals, less hospital stay, so that they can make more turnovers, and it becomes economical to run a hospital, and you can enhance the reputation of your hospital. That's very important. So let me tell you my average time with my staff in my OT when I'm not teaching. A cortical mastoidectomy with tympanoplasty I've done sometimes Skin to skin I'm talking about. This is not just to this thing, skin to skin. Okay, injection to suturing and dressing in 26 minutes. Okay, and I've done modified radical mastectomy and tympanoplasty in as less as 52 minutes. That is skin to skin. Okay, this is possibility, this is not something impossible, possible. Okay, so why I did work on this time management in middle ears master surgery at early part of my career, that is between 1996 and 2000. I worked in this wonderful hospital, Al Shifa Hospital, Pentalmanna in Kerala State. Okay, there it was a very small hospital that time with only three operation theaters and with very busy surgeons. Okay, orthopedic department one of the busiest, followed by OBG, and followed by general surgery and so many other departments. And ENT was the least preferred, and I was given a small operation time in that hospital. But I was one of the busiest surgeons. I was also so I had to find ways to operate more number of cases in a short period of time. That is why I thought of saving more time as less, as much as possible. Second is I started free surgical camps for Rotary International from year 2000. Okay, so we traveled from place to place. We traveled the length and breadth of the country, and also we traveled abroad, about 19 countries. Me with the I coordinated this project with the help of about 80 surgeons. We operated in 19 countries, and we operated about 48,000 patients in last 20 years now. Okay, and in some of these surgical camps, as you can see here, in one operation theater, we have two surgeons. This is my friend Dr. Chedda from Bangalore, operating the other side. I'm operating this side, and we used to operate in a 2 days camp about 50 patients, 60 patients, 70 patients, and our objective was to do everything perfectly. Not even single case should fail. Just because we are operating free, just because it's a surgical camp, a free camp, and we can't do something, and just run away from it. No, no. So because our reputation is dependent on that, success of the camp is dependent on that. So to reduce the time we spend there, so we had to cut down the time, surgical time. So that is why I thought of working on this time management. Next is when I was doing MBA around 2005, one of the subject was management. Okay, so in that I read about this father of scientific management, that is Frederick Taylor. There are different types of management. One of the most important is scientific management. This laid foundation for the age of industrialism. Okay, or the century of industrialism. Okay, yeah. And what he did, he developed his method of management. Scientific management is known as popular as Taylorism. So he worked for Ford company and many coal company, and he was asked to increase the efficiency of the workers and also the productivity of the companies. So what he did was he would just go to the company, and he would go to the factory or the coal mine. He would just sit and watch how people work, and he did this time motion studies, and he analyzed and synthesized workflows. He is the he is the one who developed that, automatic robotic type, a conveyor belt type of workflow. He is the one who initiated, I would say. And he helped in improving economic and the efficiency of the companies, and also he enhancing labor productivity, most important, and also standardization of process steps. So how did he do it? So he observed, like, for example, in a coal mine, he found that the workers were using a very heavy shovel. Okay. So because of that, their efficiency was low. So what he did was he asked the company to give them very light shovels made of aluminum or something. And just by reducing that, their productivity increased. Like this also, he observed in the company's workers what unwanted or waste movements they do. So he went on reducing all those unwanted and waste and eliminating the waste, and that is how he reduced the time, and he increased the productivity. So when I read that, I realized that I can apply the same thing in our surgical, uh, during our surgeries also. That is when I did this surgical time audit. Okay, so what we did was we recorded all events in operation theater. Okay, A to Z, and also we classified all the events and we analyze these events. Okay, recording of all events depended on pre-operative events, intraoperative event, and post-operative event, and we try to find out where our time is being wasted. Okay, so what we did during intraoperative event analysis, that is, we divided the steps, surgical steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, tympanoplasty, the step 1, cleaning the ear; step 2, injection; step 3, post-oral incision; step 4, graft, obtaining the graft, like that. Okay, so there is a saying in Japanese management, that is, when you have a large task on hand, divide them into small pieces and perform. This is one way learning surgery becomes easy, and also you can reduce your time. Okay, and then prepare a time audit chart. Okay, this is my time audit chart way back in, I would say, like, I think around 2002. This was, see how much time I used to take. A simple tympanoplasty, type 1 tympanoplasty with cortical mastectomy and tympanoplasty, 2 hour 40 minutes. Just analyze. Local infiltration 10 minutes, endoral incision 10 minutes, postal incision arresting temporal asphyxia graft 20 minutes, tympanometal flap elevation 20 minutes, denuding the malleus another 20 minutes, cortical mastectomy canaloplasty 30 minutes, and check vascular mobility and round window reflex 5 minutes, check YouTube patency another 5 minutes, grafting and stabilizing 20 minutes, and closure another 20 minutes. My gosh. Can you imagine how many cases I can operate in a day? Okay, about maximum 2 cases, 3 cases. Believe me, I have between 2003 and 2012, I've operated an average of 8 to 10 cases a day. Okay, that is the kind of this thing work we have done, and that is because of time management. Okay, so what we did after studying all the surgical steps and all the events, pre-op, post-op, and intra-op, we classified the events as very important, not particularly important, and worthless. Okay, can any surgical step be worthless? Maybe for the surgeon. Okay, so to continue with the analysis of events, so these are the questions we asked ourselves. What is the best way of doing particular task in least possible time? Okay, can you dedicate more time to high value steps? Can you spend less time with low value steps? Are there any distraction you can avoid? That is like bleeding or something, equipment not working, or some disturbance with the staff or something. Can you modify the technique to make it faster? And next is, can you delegate any task to your assistants or your staff, your nursing staff or your assistants? Okay, this is when, I realized this delegation of work at a very early stage of my life. When I started my surgical practice way back in 1996 self, I started even I was 1 year post of a postgraduate, from postgraduate institute. I started fellowship programs for junior colleagues. Okay, I always had an assistant ever since then, and I started teaching. And what was the advantage for me? You know, I could delegate my work comfortably to my fellows. Okay, some of the tasks which I felt like, they can do easily, like initial steps like giving injection or post-oral incisions or obtaining graft or closure. When I can delegate this work to my assistants, they also learn. Okay, as they get more experience and more confident, they can do more work for us. Okay, and also they also learning surgery, getting cutting chances. Okay, this is one of the most important factor. So we started fellowship programs as back as in 96. Okay, so that is how one of the ways of reducing time. Okay, now see how I reduce my time. Local infiltration. Okay, so systematic local infiltration following a system reduced from 10 minutes to 3 minutes. Okay, endoral incision from 10 minutes to 4 minutes. Now it has come to 1.5 minutes. I'll show you an example. Post-oral incision harvesting grafts, early I used to take 20 minutes. Now it is less than 5 minutes now. Tympanometal flap elevation, I used to take 20 minutes. Now I take 2 minutes. Denuding the malleus, I used to take 20 minutes, 2 minutes. See the difference. Okay, 200% reduction probably. Cortical mastectomy canaloplasty, I used to take 4 minutes, 30 minutes earlier. Now I complete in 4 minutes. Okay. Chest vascular mobility and round window reflex, 5 minutes earlier, 30 seconds. Check YouTube patency, 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Grafting and stabilizing, 20 minutes, 3 minutes. Closure, 20 minutes, now it is 3 minutes. Let me tell you, if I am the chief surgeon, if I could, okay, see, what I did was, first is See the questions. Can you dedicate more time to high value steps? Okay, can you spend less time with low value steps? What is the most important work in this particular surgery? In any surgery, there will be just one or two steps, okay, which are very important. For example, in tympanoplasty surgery, there may be two important steps, that is cortical mastectomy and the grafting and stabilizing. Okay, so you can dedicate your time to these two important steps more time. Say you forget 4 minutes, you take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Grafting also 10, take 10 or 15 minutes. But you can bring down timing other things like local infiltration, you can bring down time. Endural incision, you can bring down time. These are not high intensity works. Okay, incision or harvesting graft, these are not high intensity works. Okay, even denuding, in tympanometal flap elevation, of course denuding the malleus is again high intensity work, which you have to do carefully. You can do it yourself, but you can again cut down the time. So this way you classify all the events, and what is less less important, less intensive, you either delegate it or you do it quickly. What is most important step, you spend more time on that. Okay, this is how I started managing my time and reduced time. Okay, so what factors affect surgical time usually? There may be patient factor, surgeon factor, anesthetist factor, nursing staff, operation theater, equipment, surgical condition or surgical technique. Everything can affect your time in an operation theater. What are the patient factors? General physical condition of the patient, risk factors, type of pathology, intra-bleeding, all this can affect, and you need to be aware of this beforehand. And surgeon factors, attitude of the surgeon, training, what kind of training he has, what is his philosophy, is there planning, does he do planning, does he execute appropriately what he has planned, does he delegate his work, he is a team man. Being team man is one of the most important factor. Okay, we need to be team man. And you all know this Paulo's dog effect, that is, practice makes man perfect. But we are not dogs, we are human beings, but we can also be conditioned. Okay, so there's one thing we can do is SWOT analysis when we are learning. Okay, we need to analyze our strengths and find out what are weaknesses. Okay, and find the opportunities around, and find the threats, and fight the threats. Okay, the strengths may be training at a, for me my strength was training at a premier institute like PJ Chandigarh, and I had a fantastic surgical exposure, and I had an exclusive access to the patient. That is because we, at the early career of my life, I started this free surgical camps for Rotary International. So I had a lot of patients, to operate and learn. And existing full-fledged setup, when I joined that hospital, they gave me fantastic setup, and I had an aptitude to learn. First 4 years of my career, that is the best earning time for me. But I spent it in the same speed. How did I spend it? I participated in every workshop, every hands-on training course, every conference that was held in India and abroad whenever possible. And I spent the money in the same speed, but I gained the knowledge. Okay. And location of your business is important, cost advantage. And when you use less time, definitely you can make the surgeries cost advantages to the patient. And strong brand and reputation, and quality control, and no competition. Okay, so, what can be weakness for somebody is lack of training, lack of surgical exposure, no access to patients, no equipment, no access to recent advances. Location of business may be bad, no reputation, no quality, cannot compete. So, when we know the weakness, we should work on strengthening those weaknesses. And what opportunities can be there for us? A good surgical exposure, access to patients, access to setup, access to recent advances, learning, relocation, controlling quality, competition. These opportunities available for everyone. Okay, this is how you explore and find out, and you get those opportunities is up to the surgeon. And the real threats are failing to update ourselves. Okay, failing to learn. And when we find that our location is not good, we need to relocate. But relocation can also be a threat. If you don't control our quality of our surgeries, that is a threat. And if there are new competitors around, that is a threat. But if you have an excellent quality, and you're economical, and you're doing good work, definitely patients will come to us. Okay, that is important. So I spoke about Paula's dog. See, here we all speak about hard work. Okay, you see here both of these, a warrior and a horse, his horse, both of them work hard. But what is the difference between these two is, this is an animal and this is a human being, and human beings have this fantastic thinking power, okay, which animals don't have, okay. And we need to use this thinking power to achieve whatever we want, okay. Coming to the surgery is concerned, just doing surgery quickly fast is not enough. You need to control quality of the surgeries. Otherwise, you know while trying to do a quick surgery, you may get into a lot of trouble, you may create a lot of complications. That is not, that is something which we don't want actually, okay. So we need to control the quality. For this, there, many companies, particularly the automobile companies, they have something called a total quality management called Six Sigma. So what is Six Sigma is, like, reducing the defective parts in the automobiles or cars or something like that as less possible. Say 0.001 in 10,000. Okay, that's what particularly the Toyota company, they practice this, rigorously. So what they do in Six Sigma is, whenever they have a problem in hand, they define what is the problem, the measure extent of the problem, analyze why it is happening, and based on that improve and control it. We can apply the same six sigma principle to our surgical career also, our surgical steps also. If something is going wrong, something is not working, then we need to find out either it is patient's pathology or our surgical technique or our equipment, something is doing wrong. So we need to analyze, and we need to measure the extent of the problem, and we need to improve upon that and control that quality. Very important. Coming to the, in the reduction of time or saving the time in surgeries, I found this Japanese management principle very useful. I got this, for this 5 years principle in Toyota company, in the service area of Toyota showroom. Okay, when I left my vehicle for servicing there, I found this very easy. As soon as I came back, I implemented in my operation theater also. That is, one is of the 5 years, the first test is SART. You know, SART is, you classify everything properly and set them in order and shine in that and standardize whatever uh, you have sorted out, and you sustain it. This 5 years principle is a fantastic principle we can get from Japanese management. So based on that, what we have done is, we have written our SOAP. What is SOAP? That is standard of operation. Okay, uh, or I say manual of operations. So we have prepared this manual of operations for all surgeries. Okay, for each and everything. Okay, standard operating procedure for each and every surgery, and this is like Bible for everybody. Okay, and this was prepared by our fellows who are there. So I gave them an task and assignment, and each and everything is prepared. For example, I'll show you. It's our standard manual of operation for example, ear surgeries. It starts from the moment patient comes to the hospital, and everybody knows they can follow it. If they don't know what is next to do, they just have to open the manual and see. Consent to be duly filled by the surgeon and staff consent. Sheet 1, inpatient admission discharge record is there. Sheet 2, form of consent. Sheet 3, 4, form of consent in Kannada, our local language. Sheet 5, 6, relevance to the surgeon regarding patient case details, diagnosis, plan of action to be taken. Like this, everything is there. Let me switch to a PDF of complete PDF of this, manual of ear surgeries. Let me share this. Okay. I hope you can see this form, PDF form. Yeah, somebody write to me in the chat if you can see it. Manual of operation for ear surgeries. Yeah, okay. See now, so what is contains manual of operation for ear surgeries? So it starts with consent, prerequisites. So what are the patient must have following documents prior to the surgery? All the investigations depending on his age and sex. Okay, uh, that is this thing. And next, what it has, the preparation of the patient changes to OT dress starting from then, and immediately after changing, before shifting to the OT, he goes to the toilet and secure an IV line before being shifted. And what pre-medication given, everything is systematically written following pre-medication, and things to be arranged in OT prior to shift to the patients, whatever is there, what is to be done for the local case, what is to be done for the GA case. Okay, how is the trolley arranged? I will come to this in detail. Okay, yeah. And next, what instruments the trolley should have, everything is in detail. Okay. And also, after shifting patient position with pictures, you can see here with pictures. And next, the patient position painting, the instructions of painting, how it is done. Okay. And infiltration solution, what is being used, and sites for infiltration. Okay. Site for infiltration, this is with pictures. Okay. This is with pictures. Sites for infiltration, this is because this is being started by my fellows or residents, so they follow this. Okay. Yeah. And also the pictures. Okay. Each and every picture is there. So all the instructions, post op orders, everything is as if like it's etched on the stone. It is there. Okay. So this way, it's everybody can refer to this. If they're in a confusion, if they want to see something, then it becomes easy. When people know your standard operating procedure, and that automatically saves a lot of your time. Everybody knows what is expected of you. Coming to the surgical trolley, I'm telling you, this is one of the most important thing. I operate in lot of places. One of the problem in all these places is a poor surgical trolley. They would have put all the equipment, like a heap, like a this thing, like a heap of instruments in we find in waste shops. Okay. So but I'll tell you, you need to teach your staff a systematic way of arranging equipment. Okay. For example, here we have a red I love this thing. These are silicon sheets available in the market. So I have each color silicon sheet for each set type of instruments. For example, we have a red color. I couldn't get the red color. So sorry, I will come back to the this thing. Okay. I hope you can see the PowerPoint presentation now. Yeah, standard operating procedure. Okay. So here you can see the sharp instruments are on red sheet. Okay. So, but I couldn't get a red sheet. That's why you put on an orange sheet. That means, it's red. All the sharp instruments are in the red. Okay. So we are careful. Second, all the burrs are another yellow color sheet. Light green colors, the suction tips, all micro instruments are in the blue color thing. So this way, our staff know where each equipment is lying. Okay. And other order what we use is what we commonly use is in the front, what is rarely used in the back. So that way, we don't have to search for the instruments. See, I tell my staff, you should be able to get your instrument even with your eyes closed. Okay. And there are some instruments where we use only once. For example, the instrument's initial incision, we need the Lempert speculum and the graft compressor. Okay. And graft obtaining instruments, all this we need initially. We don't need them later. So once this use is finished, I ask them to keep it away, take it away from the trolley. So that way, the trolley becomes free, not many instruments. Okay. As and when one particular instrument use is finished, if not we are not going to use it again, I ask them to keep it away on another trolley or something, so that they make this trolley as free as possible. I'm telling you, this one particular this thing, setting order will help you in many ways. Okay. And second, next is surgical safety checklist. Please do this religiously. Okay. You all know this. This is proposed by the World Health Organization. uh, and this is a fantastic, this can reduce a lot of risk for you in the OT. People who are in working in NABH accredited hospital, they know this very well. Surgical safety checklist, timeout forms. So this is a fantastic thing. This is the moment patient is shifted in, before inducing anesthesia or before you inject, you ask these questions, mark these questions. Before skin incisions, you ask these questions. Before patient leaves operating room, leave this. Now, this can reduce lot of tension for you, lot of time for you. I'm telling you, this may take about 5 minutes. Okay, your staff or your fellows can do this in OT. I'm telling you, this is a fantastic thing. You can download this online. Okay, surgical safety checklist. It's available online. Just okay, and you should have a good anesthetist. Okay, and again, anesthetist depends on his attitude, training, philosophy, and his ability to work in a team. And coming to the type of anesthesia, either use GR local anesthesia judiciously. Okay. And don't be dogmatic about it. this thing, what kind of anesthesia you use it. But infiltrate local anesthesia even in GA cases, I use this slide particularly in many presentations because I want to highlight this. It's difficult to get a good anesthetist like this, who does all the jobs for you. I have a fantastic anesthetist, I'm glad to say that. Okay. And infiltrate local anesthesia in all GA cases because giving a perfect analgesia is very important, because variation of anesthesia also. Okay. I have found four types of anesthetists. One is good anesthetists, which I have. Other three anesthetists are, one is superficial anesthetists. What I mean by superficial is they keep plane of anesthesia very superficial. So patient may not be moving because of muscle relaxants, but patient will be feeling pain. When patient feels pain, automatically it activates the adrenaline mechanism and causes a lot of bleeding. Okay. So this is important. Okay. The gas man, they used a lot of gases like halothane or isoflurane. So what does these gases do is they cause a lot of vasodilation, and when there is vasodilation, that causes a lot of bleeding. Again, that will you will interfere with your work, and honestly you'll be taking more time for surgery. Third is freelancer types. So these are the anesthesiologists who run from hospital to hospital. You find them in big cities, cosmopolitan cities, where they work in multiple hospitals. You find that even before you have completed the closure, patient is already moving. That will interfere with your work. Actually, instead of saving time, it increases your OT, your operation theater time. So that's why give local infiltration and give good analgesia to the patient. Okay, this is very important. Again, staff factors. Your staff is very important. Their attitude for teamwork, and the training attitude to learn should be there. This is one of the biggest issues in our in India. It's very difficult to teach our uh, staff, and they'll have a lot of ego issues, and they can't work in team. They don't get along each other. That is one of the most difficult thing. Many times your time and energy goes in solving staff problems, and just have a problem among themselves. So you have to be very careful about that. Okay. So staff is very important. Staff motivation is important. They need to be disciplined, and they should participate in the work, and they should involve in the work. They learn the importance of time management. The way you can motivate is you can tell them, if you finish the surgery quickly, you can also go home quickly, you can be free quickly. And also always, they should be, you should be boosting their moral. In the similarly, they should support you and boost your moral too. That's very important. Okay. And skill development. Okay, this is important, this thing. And also communication. JP, I hope you remember which OT this is. Okay. And learn the Kaizen way. You can't master everything. Okay, it is a progressive learning. Every day you learn something new. So this Kaizen is a Japanese terminology, which in which they say one small step can change your life. Okay, learn the Kaizen way. And the operation theater, design of the operation theater is very important. It should have a very good lighting, and all the equipment placed in a proper way, and proper air conditioning should be there. So okay, if proper temperature is not there, it is discomfort to both the surgeon and even the patient also. If the temperature is not right, your efficiency will go down, and your work will get delayed unnecessarily. And see here, this is my operation theater. We have a monitor here, as you can see here. We also have bigger monitor. Okay. So whenever we have important surgeries, we light up both the monitors. We put on switch on the both monitors, so that the surgery is being seen by all the staff in the OT. Why it is important is, when the staff know like what is happening, what is the next step, automatically they keep the things ready for you. Okay. They arrange all the equipment and whatever you need, like suture material or something. They will help you. So this is a very important factor. Okay. And also this is very important for documentation, teaching, all that, that. But more than that, it helps you in reducing your operating time. See, now that because of the COVID, despite COVID, now we have to start our elective surgeries. And now the standard operating procedures changes further. Now you spend more time in donning, doffing also. Okay. This is how we are operating even routine cases, despite getting negative COVID results. And this is increasing time, but when you have all this uh, proper equipment, it helps you a lot. Having a good cautery, electro cautery, is also an asset. Okay. Yeah. and a cautery which works, which helps you, which reduces the bleeding or avoids the bleeding, is saves your time, and also a drill. Okay, very important this thing. Right, you should have a right equipment. You should have working equipment which is regularly serviced and which is sometimes used for multiple things. Okay, multiple users. That is what is important for, particularly for micro ear surgery. Microscope is one of the most important thing. A properly ergonomically designed microscope with a good optics, good light, good light can enhance your work. Okay, and I started with a local microscope way back in 2000, and local is the Indian made microscope. Of course, that time Indian made microscopes were not so good, and the optics were poor. But I still operated with that for the 4 5 years, and later when upgraded to a Zeiss microscope, and later when I started operating in corporate hospital, I had an access to Leica microscope. See, I realized that when we have better microscopes, our work also increases. We start doing advanced surgeries like lateral skull base surgeries, other delicate surgeries. Okay, having a good microscope is important. And micro instruments concerned, try to have a double-ended micro instruments. See, that will save a lot of time. As you can see here, these instruments which have two ends on either side. For me, like a combination of the first knife and second knife, that is Rosen's knife and Plexus knife and a sickle knife and a Rosen's knife. That combination is a very good combination. And curettes also, you can have different curette size on either end. It is not curette here is there. Okay, that is there anyway. Having this saves a lot of time. Okay, and have a high speed micro drill, and having a minimum 40,000 RPM drill is a very important thing, and a good burst, cutting burst you should have. Okay, and if and you should keep the maintain the burst properly. You should clean the flukes of the burst regularly immediately after the surgery. You should lubricate your drill, and you should keep them in conditions. Okay, you have a burr which is now, it doesn't cut, unnecessarily delays your time. Okay, and your suction tips should be patent and working. You should have good suction tips, maybe extra set readily and available on table. Okay, it shouldn't be blocking repeatedly. And also scissors which cut, this is very important. Okay, that's where we lose our time. Okay, that is very important. And clean and maintain the burr is immediately after the surgery. What you do is, in between the flukes there will be bone dust. Okay, that you have to take a needle and you have to take out all this thing. And also there are special burrs. If you ask your burr dealer, they will give you, and you clean that bone dust and you remove all the bone dust. Okay, and you can dip them in, uh, there is a WD-40 solution for some time, so that uh, you know all that dirt whatever goes off. Okay, and also you can clean with hydrogen peroxide, WD-40 solution, and all that remove all the blood clots and bone dust. That's very important. Okay, that is the that will also save your time. For example, I'll show you how to use a double-ended instruments. I'm showing you the flap elevation, initial endural instant flap elevation. This is a video of, see, it is 1 minute 35 seconds. How I do it? Okay, the first step, the Rosen's incision. Okay, this is horizontal incision, 5 to 6 kilometer, 5 to 6 millimeter away from the annulus, made with Rosen's knife. Lempert's incisions, Lempert's endural incision. I'm sorry, not Rosen's incision. Lempert's endural incision. Okay, this is a bone deep incision. Now Lempert part 2 incision, vertical incision on the superior canal wall with a 15 knife. Only this moment I change my hands. I had to ask another instrument from the staff. Okay. And the third incision on the floor, only over the bone. Okay. Now I'm going to take the double-ended instrument. Okay. I'm going to take the double-ended instrument. Now I see I'm using the plexus knife to release the corners of the flap, corner of the corners flap. Okay, I release the corners. That is where some attachments likely to be there. I didn't ask for another instrument to the staff. Same Rosen's knife plexus knife which has a Rosen's knife on the other end. I just turned it. So I saved about 5 to 10 seconds there. I have to give it to the staff. Staff has to search and give it back to you. So that's accomplished. So how much time I took? So it took only 1 minute, 36 seconds and 40 milliseconds. Okay. So this is how we save time. Uh, okay. So surgical time, plan. Okay. If you fail to plan, you're actually planning to fail. That is what is important. Okay. And any patient investigate properly, communicate the plan to the team, and use a right surgical technique, right approach, right surgical step. That's important. And complement surgical steps. One step should complement the next step easily. Do only what is necessary. That is important. And local factors, address local factors in ear cases. That is acute inflammation or acute infection, which can lot of bleeding and delay your surgery. Use appropriate course of preoperative antibiotics. Operate only when it is dry, and avoid excess local tissue trauma during dissection, which can cause bleeding. And beforehand, systemic comorbidities you should rule out, which can cause a lot of bleeding, like hypertension, peripheral vascular disease, liver and renal disease, chronic alcohol abuse, malnutrition, and vitamin deficiency is very important. And bleeding diathesis, I will not go into the detail. That is congenital disorders like hemophilia A and B and von Willebrand's disease. You should assess them. And also any medication affecting surgical field. COVID time, be careful. People are using lot of herbal medicines like ginseng, ginkgo, and kava, so many things. And of course, we will be very careful. You all will be careful. I'm sure, as per in NSAID, warfarin, antiplatelet agents. And whenever you want to stop, always do it in consultation with patient regular treating physician. Okay. So be careful about this, which can increase the bleeding. And what's your philosophy? Is your philosophy is right for whatever you're doing, whatever work you're doing for different this thing, okay, different type of disease, whether it's mucosal or squamosal, and we have a clear cut philosophy how we deal with. I've already discussed with you earlier. Again, we'll discuss it in the subsequent classes. What we do in mucosal disease when patient has active discharge and inactive discharge, type of perforations, whether revision surgery, not revisions. This is etched on the stone in our hospital, like, okay. Yeah, we follow very strictly, so that we don't have to think too much about it. We know, like, if this kind of perforation or this kind of disease is there, this is what we are going to do. And same thing for squamosal active disease also, depending on the extent of the cholesteatoma, whether it is a revision or primary surgery, okay, and involvement of the cholesteatoma, involvement of the ossicles and other things, everything is perfectly planned. We know that we have that clear cut philosophy, so that helps us. So is for squamosal inactive disease also, whether the interaction is involving pus placida or pus tensa or both of them. So when you have a perfect plan in mind, that also saves your time. Okay, surgical technique. See, I would like to introduce my friend, Dr. GVS Rao from Hyderabad. I learned for this technique from him, that one bar mastectomy. This gentleman does the entire mastectomy in one large bar. Okay, and that's another time saving strategy. Let me show you this thing. This is what I do. The I use only two burrs now, maximum. Maybe once in a while another small burr, just to make new uh, annulus, create a new annulus, something. Sometime I use 2 mm burr when I do canaloplasty. Otherwise, see, I'm doing a canal wall down mastectomy. I have started with a big burr, and the same burr will continue. In the end, I may take same size diamond burr, that's all, to polish and lower the ridge, this thing. Okay, so I will just, I'll post this video if you want online. Okay, so you can see I'm continuing with the same burr, same burr. I have the same size burr. Okay, so same size burr is going on. I not change. Okay, same size burr. This is an unedited video. Okay, same size burr, still drilling, same size burr. Now I'm going to dissect the disease and remove. Okay, and following that disease removal, I'm removing the disease. removing the disease. Okay, removing the disease. I'm continuing again drilling with the same size bars. I have not changed the bar at all. Okay. Only thing is now I'm going to use the diamond bar, same size. Okay. So I've just used two bars. That's all. Okay. So this way, this is another way of complete. You can see here. This video is an unedited video. Complete canal wall down mastectomy and the dissection of the disease. Everything. It is about 15 minutes. That's all. It is totally 15 minutes. Okay. This is how we save the time. So we need to be, when if we want to do this, if we want to achieve, we should have thorough knowledge of anatomy. That is very important. So I told you, plan. Operate on every patient. This is another trick I use is operate on every patient 7 times. I'll tell you more about it. And keep a logbook, divide and rule, and be flexible. Okay, that's very important. So day before the surgery, do a flight plan. That is, you plan entire what you're going to do. And the moment patient is admitted, you should run the entire surgery in your mind. Okay. The surgery is all about going from one landmark to the other landmark. You should identify the, address the disease in between landmarks. Identifying the landmarks is very important. And any structure, important structure, find, do not discover. And what is important for us in ear surgery? That is facial nerve. Okay. And very minimally invasive and anxiolytics. Don't take anxiolytics. I just wrote there. And before scrubbing, reviews the scans or radiological films and investigations, review patient's general condition. And the moment you shift the patient inside operation theater, if it is local case, even GA cases, patient BP will shoot up for some time. Okay. So you just inquire how is patient and review a surgical plan. While you scrub, entire surgery should run in your mind. Okay. Review with anesthesiologist and review a way of preparation. Very important. And I this philosophy has helped me a lot. Okay, operate on every patient 7 times. What is this? This is called visualization technique, I call. See, before I do actual surgery, I would have operated on that patient several times. Like, the moment I clean the diagnosis, I make the the choice of surgery which I'm going to use for that patient. That is the first time when I do the surgery. And day before surgery day, the moment patient is admitted, I run the plan again in my mind. And morning of surgery, I have this practice of meditation every morning. And that is the time I go through during my meditation. I think of all the cases I'm going to do that day. And I'm going to run that plan in my mind. I'm going to run exact procedure, the exact way I'm going to do the surgery. So this is like a kind of practice. There is something phenomena. You can go and search on the Google something called mirror neurons. You know what mirror neurons does is that is they can't differentiate between actual what you're doing and what you're imagining or you visualizing. Brain cannot differentiate. Okay, you can just close your eyes, you imagine the entire surgery stepwise this thing, and brain it perceives it as it is being done in real. I'm telling you, this is one of the secret of me, how I learn surgery and how I master surgery and how I perform surgery. Okay, so that is morning of the surgery, and actual surgery is the next fourth step. And during follow up, again, do you do the surgery in the mind? What exactly you did? What is the result? And is there any problem? You compare that and show your work to others. That is the next time when you do the surgery and publish it. Okay, so I say 7 times or 8 times the surgery, but I would have done more than 10 times even before actual surgery. Okay, that is called visualization. It is not something, you can call it meditation, whatever, but you can also say it visualization, but it helps. So see, I have this system of a kind of meditation practice. You cannot say meditation, it's kind of fusion meditation, which contains 8 different objectives and 8 different aspects of life. And most important is that is our professional life. Because it is right, I called activation meditation. I don't call it as meditation activation. That is how I activate all these ideas and the surgical principles. Okay, divide and rule. So I told you, when you divide a big task, it becomes very easy, very simple. So when you divide and rule, it becomes very easy for you and quick. Like in a tympanoplasty, cortical mastectomy surgery, the steps, the important steps are incision, harvesting graft, cortical mastectomy, canaloplasty, grafting, and closing. So when the tasks are clear, you can assess like which you have to do, which you can delegate, which is high intensity work, low intensity work, where you can spend more time, where you can spend less time. You can decide that, and maintain a secret logbook. This is very important. Record your mistakes, okay, and analyze during follow-up and learn from mistakes, and run that Six Sigma, okay, run that Six Sigma, and maintain your quality or enhance your quality. That is the secret to success with all our surgeries. That is how we attract the patients. I practice in a small place, Chitradurga. It's a district place away from mainstream place like Bangalore. You'll not believe me, I get patients from all over India. Not only from India, I get international patients. That is because of our results. People, the word of mouth spreads and people come to you. Okay, that is important. And this is in brief a different topic, unusual topic, which I come up with, which I found useful. I thought I should share with others, and I hope this was useful to you. Thank you. And if you have any queries, we can discuss. Okay. And see about this, my success secret is this observation. Okay. This is I do this observation every day morning, 5 to 5:30 or 5:45. If somebody I want to start this online, whoever want to achieve something big, they can join me online, and be part of this uh, a new success phenomena. Okay, and you can master whatever you want in your life. You're most welcome. Okay, and if any questions, I'm going to unmute all of you. You can we can ask me whatever questions you have. Okay.
Presentation, Dr.
Yes, sir. Munka sir.
Hello, can you get me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And I can remember as a director of the hospital when I was doing are standard operating procedures. And now the big hospitals, their subsections.
Your voice is not clear, sir. Sir Munka sir, your voice is not clear, breaking.
Okay. Even to maintain a standard operating process. SOP, we used to have the audit, not only papers, it used to be in actuals, whether they are following it or not. So that used to go down the line. But it is like in our system, in big hospital, because everybody has to follow. So we cannot be that like you have made for the typical surgery and each diagnosis, what should be the flow chart. That will be a lot of, not very easy to do in a big setup.
Yes.
It is for the hospital, it's possible. But excellent. The idea I like very much. Sometimes we practice always. That is a very excellent.
Yeah, somebody is asking, is the Zeiss microscope better than Leica? I like both the microscopes, but I prefer Zeiss better than Leica, because Leica is like a big elephant for me. Zeiss is, is a very, very comfortable microscope. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah. And Dr. JP. Yeah, one of the picture was your OT. I hope you identified.
I know that. It was my first workshop that we conducted.
Yes.
In 2010.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate you for taking a topic that is very important to all the juniors.
Yes.
And I want to add on to this presentation.
Yeah, please.
That speed is not all the criteria for otological surgery. That's number one. Number two, speed and saving time are for people who have done more number of surgeries actually, and for the seniors. In the beginning of your career, that I want to tell that the time is does not matter. The results are the ones which matters to the patient. See, this time management and saving time is for the senior surgeons who are very busy in the practice and who have done more than say 500, 600 cases. They can do incision in 3 minutes time. They can harvest the graft within 30 seconds, but not for the juniors. I just want to tell the juniors that speed is not the criteria for the success of ear surgery. That's
కొంచెం ఏం లేదు
Number
డిజైన్
3.
చేస్తా ఇప్పుడు ఎక్సర్సైజ్
Hello?
చేసుకుందాం వేరే ఇవన్నీ ఇవన్నొద్దు
Hello?
One
Prahlad,
minute. One
can you
minute.
unmute everyone? You can unmute only the
Yes,
person
yes.
who's talking.
Okay,
There's a lot
okay,
of
okay.
disturbance among the people.
Yeah. Okay, I muted all. So I'm going to unmute
Yeah.
you now.
Yeah, I unmuted me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the number 3 is the pre-operative checklist is very, very nice.
Yeah.
And each and every person should follow that, and you will do less mistakes.
Yeah.
Then arranging the trolley is the most important. If your assistant can arrange a very good trolley for the surgeon, he knows half the surgery. That is what is the I was taught. See, when I was a postgraduate, we never had any nurses who will assist the seniors. So we are the ones, we have to go to the operation room in the early morning, and we as a male nurse, we used to work for our seniors. So that is how we learned the art of arranging the instruments. The same was taught to my assistants. So if you can arrange the trolley, the half surgery is done. That's very important. And your slide and your presentation and your stress on that was very nice. And I strongly recommend all the juniors that please plan your surgical trolley so that your surgery will be very clean. And I congratulate Prahlad for your excellent lecture. I have learned a lot of things, and I want to ask only one doubt, that what is this activation? I have not
No.
understood.
Activation is,
Ah.
it is a kind of system of meditation I do,
Uh-huh.
which in the part of it is visualizing the surgeries of that day.
Okay.
It is also inviting success, how to succeed in everything we do. Okay,
Okay.
there are 8 different aspects. Okay,
Uh-huh.
to that helps in succeeding 8 different aspects of our life, which
Okay.
I'm doing every day morning 5 to 5:30, 5:45. Since
Oh.
I have got benefit out of that, so I want to open it for all in the morning.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And
Whoever is
one more thing, you said you search on the Google. What nerves is that? Mind nerves.
that is mirror neurons.
Mirror neurons. Okay.
Neurons
Right. Okay.
is, that is, mirror neurons is, there actually are there or not, we don't know. There's a lot of discussion going on about that. See the brain, how it works is, suppose you do a visualization and run a surgery in your mind. Okay, you close your and do that visualization, but brain actually cannot differentiate an actual surgery and visualization. That is something very interesting phenomena. That's why this visualization procedure helps me a lot. Okay, for example, I'll tell you, when I did my first endoscopic skull base surgery, after surgery my neuro chief asked me, in Chitradurga, where did you do endoscopic skull base surgery? In a small place. But he didn't know, by that time I'd have done that surgery thousands of times in my mind.
Yes.
That is the secret of my success. Okay, this visualization is very important.
As you said, a surgeon will operate 7 times.
Yes.
See, you told me this 7 times surgery. I have heard this a few years back from your lecture.
Yeah.
But the same thing will be going in our brain actually.
Yes.
The moment we say surgery to the patient, quickly all the steps of surgery will go in the mind actually.
Yes.
It's always there.
Yeah.
But you have narrated very nicely, and I congratulate you for a nice lecture.
Yeah. There are some questions about ergonomics in the OT. Okay.
Yeah.
That is, I think probably they missed Dr. JP's presentation. What kind of chair he uses? Probably we'll get back to JP about ergonomics of OT in sometime in the future. Okay. That is Dr. Rajendra Vagela and this thing, because he's very concerned that, in sitting position, he himself and many surgeons known to him are getting neck and back issues. Okay. So you should use proper chair with a backrest. That is very important.
Can I add, Dr. Prahlad? Can I add
yes,
something?
Of course, sir. Ramesh sir, Royal sir, welcome, please.
It's a very wonderful presentation. What you have done it reminded me of my own PG days and my own learning.
Yeah.
The chair which people are very curious to know. The most economical and best chair what you can have is a chair by Godrej. That is a counter chair, what they call.
Okay.
My
Okay.
teacher, Dr. Tepan sir, he used to use that. That chair has got no arms, but it has got a backrest, and it
Mhm.
is no, it's revolving.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are no wheels at the floor,
Okay.
so
Okay.
you don't get toppled down. You know,
Yeah.
you can move. You cannot. You can move. You know, right, left. You can move in a circular fashion, but the chair is not going to move. It's a very good chair. I'm using it for last almost 35 years, and I'm
Oh,
very happy with that.
fantastic. That share that this thing picture with sir when you're in OT next time. Huh?
Definitely,
Would like
definitely.
to
It's
have a
very
look this
economical.
thing.
There is no need to go for a very high-end hydraulic, this and that, all things. It's a very good chair, and you can use it very nicely.
Yeah, yeah. See, one more thing. So one disclaimer I should have put in the beginning is when you're teaching, don't try to do time management because teaching is one of the most important that, when you're teaching, you should try, you're supposed to show in detail everything stepwise, slowly. So don't use these tricks when you're teaching. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't finish
You
quickly
have
and
to
run
be
away.
slow and methodical when you are
Turn
teaching.
method when you're teaching.
And I
Okay. That is
entirely
one
agree.
disclaimer.
I entirely agree with your point
Yeah.
of free surgical camps.
Yes.
With my boss, you know, we conducted almost. I attended his 18-20 camps. I attended as a student, and then I conducted this free ear surgery camp at my place also.
Yeah.
2 OTs, sometimes 3 OTs we used to run simultaneously, and there is a place that is the exact place where you learn how to manage the time.
Yes. That's right.
It's a wonderful sort of way of learning.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
witnessed it in Surat, you know, when we were there for operating, where
Yeah.
2 tables are running in the OT. The third patient is sedated outside,
Yes.
and that saves a
You
more
know,
time.
yeah, see, sometimes they provide a OTC, they prepare classrooms as OTs in some of the
Yeah,
places.
we are operated in schools.
In one particular place, I remember in one big hall, there were 6 tables they arranged, 6 surgeries going on simultaneously. Mastectomy, 6 mastectomies going on simultaneously. Yeah,
We have operated in schools.
yeah,
That used to be one sort of a part of preparation for the camp. I used to go one
yes,
night prior
yes.
there, fumigate the place which is supposed to be used as OT and all. But that was a great experience, and I congratulate you for the very micro tips. I know you are a very perfect man about everything.
Thank you very much.
You have precisely enumerated how you know the time management which is meant for uh, everyone, that can be applied in a very minor way. You can save time at every point of time for preparation, for giving anesthesia, giving dripping, and preparation of incision and everything. And it was a wonderful, nice lecture. I congratulate you for that.
Thank you very much, sir. So Dr. Saurabh is asking what is Six Sigma. I'll just go back to that once. Dr. Saurabh, Six Sigma is a Japanese management method mainly used in automobile industry. Okay, all industry use it, but it is mainly used in automobile industry to reduce the number of defects. In our medical, this thing we can say reduce number of complications or problems. Okay, so what they do is whenever they're faced with a problem or anything, they define the problem, what exactly it is, and they measure the extent of the problem and they analyze why it is happening. They conduct a meeting, okay, the brainstorming session, they analyze and they prevent that meeting, they improve upon it, and once they improve upon it and they control the results. Okay, see, for example, if there is a small defect in an automobile, it can kill the passengers, isn't it, who are traveling in that. Similarly, a small mistake, like in ear surgery, you're not careful, your drill bit touches the ossicles, you can give a sensory neural hearing loss to the patient. Okay, so many things can go wrong. Okay, so that's why the applying this Six Sigma methods, you can reduce the number of complications. These are likely to happen more when you're trying to do quickly. Okay, these mistakes are likely to happen. So one thing is you should be careful, you should learn from your mistakes, and you should have a thorough knowledge of anatomy, and you should have excellent equipment and staff. You should teach the staff. I tell you, most important takeaway message from here is teaching your staff. That is very important. They should know what you're doing. If you're doing some new surgery, you should get a video, you should ask them to watch that video. Okay, you should describe, you should explain them what exactly you're going to do, as if like you're going to teach your other doctor friends and doctor colleagues. They should understand what you're going to do it, so they will help you. That is how you save the time. Okay, that's you say the time. Okay, yeah, that is Six Sigma. If
Hello.
any other questions?
Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I am Dr. Anil Jain speaking from Bhopal.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Jain sir, tell
Thanks,
me.
Ji sir. Thanks a lot, sir, for a wonderful presentation.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Two things which caught my attention most is one of them was colored sheet uses. That is a wonderful idea because that color coding will help a lot. As you have kept that sharp instruments on the red sheet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
often
Let
we
me go
miss
back
that
to the
we
slide.
yeah, that is a wonderful slide that I have taken a
याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही
screenshot
जे
of that.
येलो केलंय तर ते जास्त
Yeah,
प्रायोरिटी
this
होईल
one.
असं मी एक साधारण माझं
I'll
इम्प्रेशन
tell you. This is a.
Yeah,
This
that
is
is-
a.
बरोबर आहे ना
Yeah,
हायलाइट
yeah,
तुम्ही
this is a
केलेलं की ते
wonderful
घ्यावे
slide, sir.
Yes, sir.
हा
And sir, second thing is that use of the single bar.
Yeah.
Again, if we can get trend, then it will save lots and lots of time. Often we are wasting time in finding another work and changing the work, and often
Yes,
it gets lots of wastage of time.
Yes.
So
True.
these are wonderful sessions, and that mirror neuron is again a new concept for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thanks, and that secret logbook. I would
Yes.
like to
Secret
re-emphasize
logbook. Yeah. Secret logbook. Dr. Isha asked
Yeah,
me about the secret logbook. There is no this thing
so,
format or
yeah,
anything.
That's a wonderful thing. Sir.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You keep a simple notebook. You write. You draw diagrams. You
Yes,
note
sir.
everything. Whatever happens. Whatever goes wrong. And when patient comes back for follow up, you just you assess what went wrong and what is the consequence. What is the result. Positive points, negative points. I'll tell you that is secret of my success. I still have my
Yes, sir. I have
logbooks.
taken a
I have my logbooks way back from 1996. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, sir.
Yes.
Extremely sorry, I have taken a screenshot of that
No,
without your
you
permission.
should take.
Sir.
You should take. I'm going to post this on YouTube
Ah.
anyway. This video is
Yeah, I found it very attractive that with diagrams.
Yes.
Yeah, you have drawn very nice diagrams in that, sir.
Yes.
Thanks
sir.
a lot, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Most welcome. I'm blessed. Yeah.
Dr. Prahlad,
Yes, sir.
this is Dr. Matthew from Trivandrum.
Hey, Dr. KG Matthew.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you, sir?
Yes, hi.
Yeah.
Wonderful, beautiful talk, motivational as usual. But
Thank you very much, sir.
One question to you. I mean, you should take a class on how you manage so many things, how you manage your time in a day. You do surgeries, you read books, you write blogs, everything you do under the sun.
Yes.
How do you manage?
I'll be very happy to do so. I will very happy to do so.
You have got a formula which it's a beautiful formula, but we all need to follow that. So
Yeah.
I wish you would take a good 1 hour class, how you manage everything. Your typical day, how does it start and how does it begin?
Yes, I will do that. Okay. So I will do that.
Dr. Agilasamy,
Yeah. Tell me, boss.
Matthew, Praglada is the ABD of ENT. ABD Mr. 360.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you, Ayla. Thank you so much.
Ayla Sami does cooking also, so I don't know how he manages that.
Ayla is a 361.
yeah. But those are the things which makes a man
Praglada,
complete,
excellent talk. I really enjoyed.
Thank you very much, Ayla. Thank you. I hope you got a lot of points from this. Okay. Yes. I will do that talk on time management. Okay, what is my typical day? How I manage my timings, and also from next week or November 1st, I'm starting this Octavation morning every day morning 5 o'clock, 5 to 5:45. It is not about any religion, not about anything. It is about personal development. Whoever is interested can join me. Okay.
Yeah, please share that link also.
Yes, I will share that link.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much. You made my day. Look forward to have you all again with me again next week. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Take care.
Hello. Good evening, sir. I would like to add one more thing.
Yeah, please.
May I, sir? Do you have some changes in that pattern of bandage after the surgery or after closure of the wound?
No, there
Often
is
we
no.
take time in giving that mastoid. No, ready-made bandage अभी लगाने लग गए हैं some
No, no, no.
persons.
I somehow I don't like that ready-made bandage. We do this thing, but
Okay,
now see the bandaging is not done by me. I've taught that perfect technique to my
okay, sir.
staff and my assistants. They do that. See the
Sure,
moment
sure.
the moment grafting is done, I leave the OT. I don't know what
Okay,
happens
okay,
in
okay,
OT.
okay,
They
sir.
take care of that. But if I have to do it, that also I know a technique which is done quickly in about 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't take more than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Sure, sure, sir.
yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't take
Thank you. Thanks a
more
lot, sir.
time
Thank
than
you, sir.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Most welcome. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, friends. If no more questions, good night to all of you. Stay safe.
Dr. Prahlada,
Yes, sir.
before we depart,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
when you are starting that morning session, please
Yes, sir.
share the link. Like
Yeah,
today,
definitely.
like
Definitely.
I am doing 7 to 8 with
Yeah.
Art of Living, that is for this, physical development.
Okay.
That so I will like to add up 1 more hour with you, and that will
Sure.
definitely improve in improving the personality.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Definitely.
and I what I can gather from your discussions, you are a thoroughly methodical man, knowledgeable man, have insight of almost everything, starting from the TQM concepts and all that. I have put in the chat box
Yes,
about
sir.
the board I used to keep in the OT.
Yes, sir.
That I
Yes,
took
sir.
from Dr. Janki Ram. We were in
Yes,
one
sir.
workshop sometime, and
Yes.
he was making a board points wise. So that
Yeah.
helps a lot. Your staff
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
after this
See.
step what you are going to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's also very important.
Yes.
And TQM concepts, this is in our conferences also. We used to have in our Steel Doctors Conference where we
Yes.
discuss all these managerial things,
Yes.
management
Yes. Yes.
concepts, how
Yes.
it can be applicable to medical science.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
helps a
Yes.
lot, I tell you honestly.
I know. I know. It happens in all these company hospitals.
So
Yeah.
probably it will be a good idea if in our conferences also we can have a TQM session sort of thing.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
so
Anyway,
you can
that
formulate and we can implement that.
I'm going to have a lot of such classes in the future.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
since I have this MBA background, I'm going to mix both of them now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
I'll
great
do
thing,
that
sir.
in future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Excellent
Thank you so
lecture.
much.
Thoroughly enjoyed. And that's why at the beginning I asked you, are you going to talk only about time? Because the thing is, a surgeon should not operate by watch, but yes, he should not waste unnecessary time. And
Yes.
very important point you said is how to relegate the jobs. The
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
person, right job he can do, and you don't need to do everything by yourself.
Yes.
So that's a great thing, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We thoroughly enjoyed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. Good night, all. Thank you very much. See you again next week. Yeah.